Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Kissinger with the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York. Today we are doing 5th grade math module 2, lessons 17 and 18. Our page here just says 17, but they both involve using basic facts to approximate quotients with two-digit divisors. So we're going to put them into one video here. When we see the word approximate, that should let us know that means we're going to be rounding. So we're going to be finding not exact quotients, but approximate quotients to help us come up with reasonable estimates for division problems. So if we look here, I kind of put together some problems from lesson 17 and then some from lesson 18. The lesson 18 ones are just deal with a little bit larger numbers in our dividend. What we want to do, if you look at this one that says letter G up here, is the first number that we want to round or want to approximate is our divisor. In this case, it would be 81. So the number that we're dividing by. That's going to help us get a better idea for how we want to round our dividend, which is typically our larger number. 81 is really close to 80. So now that I have 80, I'm going to look at 656. And I want to find a number that's going to go, that 80 will go evenly into. So I want to find factors of 8. That's going to help me figure out what I want to round my dividend to. So near 650, well, 65, 8 doesn't really go into 65. That's not a factor of 8, but 64 is 8 times 8. So I'm going to change this to 640. That's really close to 656. Now I can do 640 divided by 80, but I'm going to add an extra step here that they didn't give us a spot for, so I'm just going to do it off to the side. Instead of doing 640 divided by 80, you may know the answer, but to make it even easier for us, we can do 640 divided by 10 and then divided by 8. So 640 divided by 10 is just 64. And then 64 divided by 8 is 8. So 640 divided by 80 is 8. If we look at the one next to it here, we have 799 divided by 99. Now, this one kind of brings up a good point. You can do these problems in different ways and get a correct answer because we're estimating. Your estimate might be different than my estimate. So for me, I would think, well, I'm going to round to 99. I might round to 100. And then 100, and then I might round 799 to 800. And I know that 800 divided by 100, we learned that in a previous lesson how to divide by 100, so I might just know that trick, and I know that would be 8. But the other way that I could approximate this is I could do, well, I need to find a factor of 9 that's close to 799. Well, I know that 81 is a factor of 9, so 810 would be a factor of 90. So I'm going to take 99. I'm going to round down to 90, and I'll take my 799. I'm going to round up to 810. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take 810 divided by 10 divided by 9, and then I get 81 divided by 9, and 81 divided by 9 is 9. So here I might have got the answer 8, but here I would get the answer 9. We're still pretty close. Both of those would be reasonable estimates. If we look at letter I, 635 divided by 95. Well, we'll do this one the other way this time. So 95, let's round that to 100 because I know that I like to divide by 100. It makes life easier on us to divide by powers of 10. So my 635, maybe I'll just round that to 600 just to make things easy. Because I know 600 divided by 100 equals 6. So there's more than one way to round. I mean, if you could have rounded 95 to 90, and then you could round 635 to 630, and you would get 7. So you may not get the same exact answer, but again, we're only off by 1. So as you're doing these, you're going to see some of the questions. If it's a multiple choice question, like on the exit ticket, I know there's a question that'll say, which is a reasonable estimate? So your reasonable estimate, there won't be one answer that's 6 and one that's 7. It might be 60, and then you might have one that's 7, for example. So you know that those two numbers aren't close to each other. Only one would be a reasonable estimate. If it asks you to write your own, there'll be a margin for error. If you write within a specific range of numbers, you would get the answer correct. So just keep that in mind as you're estimating. If we'll do one more on this set, and then we're going to move down to these less than 18 ones down here that are a little bit more challenging. So 311 divided by 76. Let's round 76 to 80, because 76 is only 4 away. It's really close to 80. And then I need around 311 to something that would be a factor of 80, or a factor of 8. I know 32 is a factor of 8, so 320 would be a factor of 8. See how we have the 32 here, and then we have our 0. So 32 is a factor of 8. It's also a factor of 80. We can do 320 divided by 10 divided by 8. So we get 32 when we divide by 10, and then we divide our 32 by 8, and we get 4. All right. So let's look at this lesson 18, letter G here. We have 4,901 divided by 75. So the first thing I need to do is I need to round my divisor. I'm going to round 75. Let's round 75 to 70. We could just as easily round to 80. If we were rounding 75 to the nearest 10, we would go to 80. But we'll do 70 first, and then we'll see what it would look like if we went to 80. The only reason I went to 70 is I kind of looked ahead, and I looked at my other number here, and 4,901 is really close to 4,900. And 4,900, I know because it's a 49 followed by 2 zeros, and I have a 7 followed by a 0, and I know 7 goes into 49. So if I do 49, or let's do 4,900. And then divided by 10, divided by 7. Well, if I divide by 10, I get 490. 49 divided by 7 is 7. And then I have to add my 0, and I get 70. Now, if I change this 75 to 80 instead, well, then I wouldn't choose 4,900. I would have to choose a different number. So if I needed a multiple of 8 instead, I might go, okay, well, 8 times 5 is 35. 8 times 6 is 48. Oh, 48 is really close to, or 4,800 is really close to 4,901. So that I would probably go to 48, and then I would get my answer would end up being 60 instead of 70. Again, it'd be really close. Either one of those answers would be acceptable. Let's look at letter H. We have 8,515 divided by 81. 81 is close to 80, so I'll go to 80 with that one. And then I have 8,515. I could round that all the way down to 8,000 if I wanted to. I could get a close enough estimation. I know 8,000 divided by 80, it would be 8,000 divided by 10, which would give me 800. And then I would divide by 8, and I would get 100. But I could also get a little bit closer. Instead of rounding that to 8,000, I could round to 8,800 because I know 88 is a multiple of 8. And then I would take 8,800, divide that by 10, divide it by 8. I'd get 880 divided by 8. Well, I know that 8 goes into 88 11 times, and then I need to add my 0, and I would get 110. So in one case, I would get 100, and in another case, I would get 110. Both are pretty close estimates when you're talking about dividing numbers that are into the thousands into four place values. So let's do one more. Let's do letter M down here. So we have 5,397 divided by 94. Well, anytime I have a number like 94 that's close to 100, I like to round to 100. So round that to 100. And then I can round 5,397. Well, that's only 3 away from 5,400. And I know if I have this 100 at the end, I do 5,400. I can move those place values over 2 to the right. My decimal point in turn moves 2 spots to the left, and I end up with 54. All right. So that's it for lessons 17 and 18. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and look forward to seeing you guys next time.